You knew this was about to we were about to do a podcast, and you came over
Yep,
here
and
with the
I'm gonna still wear my bonnet. Let's see.
podcast in a bonnet. Let's go.
Let's go. I'm just bounce down like a bonnet. I'm so excited about today's topic. I cannot wait to get into it. So
Well, what are we talking about today?
we are talking about the infamous event of Tory Lane versus Megan T. Stallion.
I was gonna say verses. Never mind. Never mind.
Because it's a versus. So I'm gonna start out with what the event was, and then I'm gonna lay out everything that I found. Okay, so according to Megan Thee Stallion, the
I will be
argument.
asking questions.
I've got answers. I've got
Okay.
answers.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So, according to the argument, it escalated into a shooting that began at the group party of Kylie Jenner's house. Megan and her friend Kelsey Harris, or her former friend Kelsey Harris, were in the car with Tory Lanez. The tension boiled over. The issue reportedly stemmed from Kelsey's apparent jealousy over Megan Thee Stallion's relationship with Tory Lanez. Kelsey had been in a close relationship with Tory, and there was speculation that they could have still been sleeping around during the time. Tensions blowed over, and then the shootout happened. So the incident and date was July 12th, 2020 in the Hollywood Hills, California, Los Angeles. And the people involved were Megan Thee Stallion, real name Megan Joanne Ruth Pete. Tory Lane's real name is Daystar Shamil Shea Peterson, which she should just be locked up based off of his birth name, if we're really being honest. And then her friend, Kelsey Harris. So what happened was Megan was leaving the party of Kylie Jenner's house, and then they started arguing. And then at some point, a gun was pulled out, and Megan was shot at. So Megan Thee Stallion was hospitalized and treated for gunshot wounds on both of her feet, and then she went undergo surgery to remove bullet fragments from her feet, but she did not suffer any permanent damage. And so I was looking up why people thought he was guilty, like the circumstances of everything. So it came out that Megan Thee Stallion eventually came forward with the events. Like, she never publicly came forward during the time of the argument. She decided that she wanted to stay quiet and that she was just going to sweep everything underneath the rug. And then eventually she was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to tell my piece because now I'm getting bashed on the media. And she decided to break her silence. And then she went on an Instagram live of August of 2020, and she explained that she had recently dealt with police retaliation, and that she didn't really want that to be in effect. So she was just like, listen, a lot of Black people are harassed by the cops. I was one of them, so I wanted to stay quiet for a really long time because I didn't want this to be a thing. So now we get into the nitty of the gritty, which I thought was really interesting. So I went around and I was like, why do people think that Tory Lane is innocent? Like, why are people saying like this guy did not do what he did or whatever? So Kelsey Harris, the person who was fighting over Tory Lane, she ended up taking the stand at his jury, his verdict, and she took a testimony saying that she saw him do these things, right? But people think that her accounts are inconsistent. Kelsey Harris said that she was in a vehicle with Megan Thee Stallion and gave conflicting testimonies during the trial. Initially, she did not fully implicate Tory Lane, and some of her statements seem to align with Tory's defense. And then she later testified that she had been in a car and she had saw him. So a lot of people thought, well, which one is it? Were you in the car and you saw him, or were you not in the car and you didn't see him? So a lot of people were like, what's the truth? Also, there are some supporters that argue the timeline of the event and the surrounding events. There was some unclarity of whether if Tory was in the car even at the time that Megan claimed to have been shot. Some people say that he was nowhere near it. So there's just a little speculation of if he was even actually in the car or not. And then also there's the fact that Tory Lane himself says that he did not do it. And he still to this day has like claim that he's innocent and that he didn't do it, but people do that all the time once they get caught. Like, look at so many people that get caught and they be like, but my mental health, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. People do that all the time. So I'm not even taking that into real consideration. And a lot of people also think that it could have been Kelsey who shot the gun instead of Tory Lane because she was the one
She
who
did
was
it. That bitch
because
is
she
guilty. But go
because she
on.
was the one who initially started the fight in the first place.
Now, why would she fight Megan Thee Stallion? What was the motive of that?
The motive was unclear, but it seems to be jealousy. It seems to be because Megan and Tory were in a relationship and they were not, or maybe they were hooking up on the side, or they recently got into a breakup. No one's actually really clear on why she was even there because it
But didn't
seems
Megan Thee Stallion say during the Gayle King interview that she was not in a relationship with Tory Lanez?
that did not come up in the interview search that I did.
Well, I
But
saw it for myself, just like I saw Megan Thee Stallion's live that you mentioned. And then she came out with a documentary later, which was very recent, a Megan Thee Stallion documentary, confirming that she was in a relationship with Tory after this man has already been convicted. So Megan's a liar, right?
I mean, I didn't see the interview that you saw, so it's possible that she definitely could have got the interview. The all the research that I found and that I did seemed to confirm that they were in fact in a relationship from the start. I don't
Megan
know
and
about
Tory.
any. No, I did the Tory thing. There is no. It just says that they were speculated to be in a relationship. It doesn't say whether it confirmed or denied. The only thing that I found was that Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lane were indeed in a relationship, and that was seemed to be very clear to most people in their party.
So the reason between the beef between Megan and Kelsey was
It's
basically
because
over.
she recently got dumped or felt wronged by Tory or jealous of Megan, like, bitch, you stole my man, so I'm gonna come after you.
Okay. So then there was an altercation in the car, correct?
There was an
Between
altercation in the
all three
car
parties.
between all three parties and Megan. So this is the next part. So Megan was starting to walk away because I Googled, okay, then why do people think Tory is guilty? Like, why do people think that he's guilty? So it turns out that when Megan exited the car, because they was having bickering, it was loud, she decided to leave and was like, peace out. I'm not dealing with this shit no more. She heard Tory say, dance, bitch. And then she heard the gunshots. Now she does admit on at least a few of the things that I saw that she does admit that she was facing away from the car, but because of his words and then hearing gunshot, she was like 1 + 1 = 2. So either he shot her or he was in direct, involvement by saying dead dance bitch. Like literally that's what people say in movies. Like, oh, I'm gonna make you dance. I'm gonna make you dance. Like that's like fucking villain type shit. So then I was like, okay, why else would
So
people
just to
think?
be clear, her testimony was that, or she claims that he said dance bitch, but there's no
Yeah,
evidence of him saying dance bitch.
there's no evidence of him saying that, but people also took the stand. It wasn't just Kelsey. It said that there was 10 different eyewitness accounts saying that they saw Tory Lane pull out the gun. And this is what we're going to get into of why people think he's guilty. So not only did Tory say dance bitch and like then there was gunshots immediately following after, but Tory Lane after the shooting was acting very weird. He was very aggressive, and he was the only person that actually had the gun. So he was arrested. When the cops came, he had a concealed gun. And actually, the charges that he ended up getting charged with is actually felony assault from carrying a firearm unlicensed in the state of
Not
California.
not for shooting the gun.
No, he did not get charged.
For
Tory Lane did
having the
not. Initially, he did not get charged for the shooting itself at all. Like at his initial charges had nothing to do with actually her injuries. That was brought up later on. So there's a lot of conspiracies, like people like, oh, well, he's innocent. Well, y'all also have to realize that he's being charged for carrying an unlicensed gun in the state of California. That was recently discharged, regardless of the case, and he had it on his persons. That's what he's getting charged for.
Okay.
So then I asked you, okay, why else do people think that he is guilty or innocent or whatever. So it turns out, like you said, Tory Lane didn't have any gunshot residue on his hands. But I looked it up. Gunshot residue doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't shoot the gun. It just means that you wore gloves, you put your hands over it, you put a shirt over it, whatever, you washed your hands, you wiped it off, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that you can do to get rid of gunshot residue, or at least a little bit of it, to where it doesn't show up, right? You can put water on it and it won't show up.
Oh, really?
So there was a lack of gunshot residue on his hands. The only person in the crime scene that tested positive was Megan Thee Stallion herself, obviously, because she was the one who got shot at. And Kelsey Harris, her hands had gunshot residue on them. And some people think, oh, well, she had gunshot residue on her hands, so she must have been the person that shot it. But again, gunshot residue doesn't equate to innocence. You can be up to 15 feet away from a gun and not get gunshot residue. So as long as you're within 0 to 15 feet of a gun being shot, you will have gunshot residue on yourself. Period. Doesn't matter if you shot it or not. You could be like in the next car over. You're gonna have gunshot residue on you. Also, during the scene, when the police arrived, Megan was injured and Tory was arrested for carrying a gun. Like I said, Megan later explained that she did not initially tell the police that had been shot by Tory because her fear of police violence. She thought that if she said this black man had a gun, that they was going to be violent and kill him. And I think that speaks to her character, at least. I don't know, but that's just me. So he didn't have gunshot residue. Also, they tested the gun itself and there wasn't any fingerprints on the gun. But again, if he was wearing gloves or like carried it like over his shirt
Or
or the
never
way he
shot the
handled
gun
it,
in the first place.
then he wouldn't, of course,
He
he wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have gun
gunshot
residue.
residue.
Yeah.
So how would you explain somebody having gunshot residue on their actual hands, right, and firing a trigger, but there's no fingerprints on the gun?
So that means the gun got wiped. Or they're withholding the evidence.
Why would they wipe the gun but then not wipe themselves?
Maybe they probably didn't know about that part. They probably never shot a gun before. And forgot that it's gonna leave a residue on your hands when you fire it. So they wiped the gun but didn't wipe their hands.
Tory Lane is the one who had the gun. So let's assume that he's very educated on gun handling, right?
Okay.
Let's assume he has more than one.
First off, Tory Lanez is a hood nigga.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's assume he got more than one.
He is a hood nigga. Like,
let's assume he got more than one gun and he knows how this shit is
he's not
going
no
to go down.
suburban ass motherfucker. He's a hood nigga. Like,
so you mentioned there were eyewitness accounts that Tory Lanez shot Megan, but I had also heard eyewitness accounts that there were two black women fighting in the parking lot. The two
black women fighting was I guess Megan and Kelsey. Is she black?
Yes. Okay. So at some point, it was also stated that one woman went after getting their ass handed to them. Let's assume this was Kelsey. She was getting her ass beat too much over. They were fighting over Tory Lanez to some degree. So she runs back into the car, grabs the weapon, comes out, and then fires at Megan.
If you are a hood guy and you've got a gun, you're not letting anybody use that gun, first and foremost. That is hood rules 101. You don't let people borrow. You don't let people touch. So you're assuming that this gun wasn't just on his person, which it was because he got arrested with it in his fucking pocket. So even if Kelsey did shoot Megan Thee Stallion, and she is the one who did the injuries, why would he then take the gun and put it in his pocket? Fuck.
Because it's still his gun.
It's still his gun, but he could have been like, nah, bitch, I'm out. I'm gone. She did it, not me. I'm out of here. He hasn't even had any solid defense outside of it wasn't me. He didn't say it was Kelsey. He didn't say
Kelsey didn't even testify. Kelsey's being protected is the whole point I'm trying to make.
Kelsey did initially testify. She initially testified, but people said that her testimony was a little unclear and they didn't believe what she was saying. She at first said, I saw this happen. I was in the car. I watched it with my own two eyes. And then
Right.
she later said in a different courtroom under a different situation that she was outside the car and she was fighting and she heard the gunshots coming from the car and the only person in the car was Tory.
Mm-hmm.
So then people were like, well, which one was it? Were you in the car and you saw him, or were you out of the car and you know he was the only person left in the car and the gunshots came from the car?
Right.
So it was just like a lot of people were like, what's the truth? But here's the thing about eyewitness accounts. The reason why they don't actually like to take eyewitness accounts is because of that fact that people start to remember details that weren't there. People start to think they saw something, like they read something online and are like, oh, that's right, I did see this. And they never did. Like they did a study a long time ago where it was like somebody walked across, a stage and they were like, okay, what do you remember? People were like, oh, he was white, he was black, he was this, he was that. Eyewitness accounts are so like random and inconsistent. Like that's why a lot of courts don't actually like to take eyewitness accounts because they always change their story. Even if you truly were there and you truly did see it, a lot of the times you're going to like forget details. You're not going to remember. You're not going to know what's what. And you're going to like start mixing days together. You're going to
Yeah.
start blending days.
Unless you have like really good memory or
Unless you have like
be really calm
impeccable
under pressure.
Exactly, Leia. Unless you have like impeccable memory, you're gonna start to think that Monday was Tuesday. And oh, did you see Tory Lane come out of the car? Maybe that was Tuesday. So her being inconsistent, I didn't really take that into consideration because a lot of the time witness accounts are inconsistent. That's why they don't really like to have witness statements unless it is extremely reliable, like a doctor or psychiatrist, etc. But like, like they don't really like to do eyewitness accounts because a normal person, they're not going to remember everything the way you want them to.
Oh no. It's a real fishy case.
It was a really I found it extremely like interesting. My one thing I found was like the fact that he was like, okay, you clearly were there. No one's arguing that he wasn't there.
Yeah, he was there.
Right? He,
Mm-hmm.
he was there. Him, Megan, Tory, or well, Kelsey, they were all
Mm-hmm.
there, and a bunch of other people, right? No one's arguing that he wasn't there. My thing is, if you truly didn't shoot this gun, why isn't your defense it was this person?
Right, that's what I'm saying. For some reason, no
What does
one's
he got to
saying.
lose? 10 years of his life? He's about to face 10 years of his life.
Mm-hmm. No
And you're
one.
doing it for what? You have no rhyme and reason to protect anybody at this. You can't. You have no reason to protect Megan Thee Stallion, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you at this point you involved in some way, shape, or form. You have no reason to protect Kelsey. Y'all been you in jail. You ain't even talking to this bitch. This bitch just fucking left you on red. Like she pieced out. She was living her best life. But your best defense was it wasn't me.
If anyone in the comment section has any more information and you'd like to enlighten us on the case of Megan versus Tory, please do so at the bottom and continue to follow us for more podcast updates.
Why do you think he is innocent?
It's not that I think he's innocent per se. It's the amount, it's the lack of evidence that really irritates me. It's the
You don't think
lying,
it's weird
it's
that
the
a
double
gun didn't
backing.
have fingerprints and he also didn't have gunshot residue, hinting that he could have wore a glove or covered it up with a shirt? You don't think that's like at least a little suspicious that
I
he
feel
was the
like
only person at the scene who didn't have gunshot residue, but you clearly were there and was in close proximity of the shot, but you somehow didn't have gunshot residue on your persons?
I feel like
You have to be at least 20 feet away, but there is eyewitness accounts that say you were at the car. Megan was like
they
7 feet
were all in
away,
the
which means
car.
regardless,
They were all in
you
the
would have
car.
had gunshot residue on your body. You would have had it on your clothes. You would have had it somewhere, but you were the only motherfucker in the surrounding area that didn't.
And you want to talk about um
That's a little
he's a
suspect.
hood
You got
he's a
it.
hood nigga. So is Megan Thee Stallion. She's a
That's
felon
true. They
too.
both like she grew up in Texas.
She has a domestic case felony on her record. So if there's any amount to bet, and people's not going to say this because, oh, she's a woman, she's a victim, yada, yada, yada. She was probably putting hands on him in the car, and he or Kelsey, in
Oh, here we
self-defense,
go.
defense,
Here we
probably
go. She
grabbed the
was putting hands
gun
with him, so
and
his
put that
defense was
thing
to
on her. She
shoot
wanted to
her.
talk about, oh, I'm Bigfoot, I'm walking away,
But
I'm
that's
tripping.
that's the man. That's how men are gonna be because men are always
Men are
gonna say
fragile. Men are
very
very
fragile.
fragile. Like their
Men are too
egos,
fragile for that. So you could tell a man that his dick is small and he might shoot you.
and he
You
might
can
shoot
tell
you,
a man that, oh, I don't want your number, and they will kill
and they will
you.
kill you.
And we have shit that happens like that
I know, I
numerous of
know,
times.
I know.
So let's not
So
sit
who's
here
to
and
say
say
that Meg?
that
Because
he was not on that.
yeah,
Hood
and it
niggas and hood
says
females are two fucking different things.
and it
Simple
says the
as that.
report says that Megan was walking
Different as
away from
that.
the situation when she heard the whole dance bitch situation. She was actively leaving the situation.
And
Where was
somehow
she
she
gonna
still
go?
gets shots. You
Back to
mean
the
where she gonna
house. Don't
go?
forget that this
You
all
got money.
happened at a
Like, what do you
party.
mean? Like,
I was
you
gonna
at a
say, don't
party, you
forget
can
this
leave.
all
You don't
A
have to
happened at
go
a
bring the people
a
party.
you came
party
with.
that you forgot to mention how drunk Megan was, and she was, and how when Kylie Jenner was like, "Get all y'all need to get the fuck out of my house," because they was wilding at the party. Everyone was
I would
drunk.
kick them out too. What you
Yeah,
mean?
because somebody got shot.
Someone got shot.
Not
Y'all
at the
can't stay
party.
here
The
no more.
shooting didn't happen until after they left the party. Keep the timeline on the timeline. There was
That's
no
why I said.
violence.
That's why I mentioned the inconsistent timeline. Because don't forget, I did bring that up because a lot of reports are saying that this happened right outside Kylie Jenner's house. It says that the reports came straight from
Right.
Hollywood Hills, so
Exactly.
couldn't
So
have
it
been that
wasn't that
far.
far.
Couldn't have been
It
that
wasn't
far.
that far
They
at
didn't. They
all.
didn't get. They
It's a
didn't get
whole
very
video
far, but it
showing that they
wasn't.
wasn't that far.
But the shooting wasn't at. It wasn't on her property. It was around
It
those
could have been not
buildings.
on her property, but
It
it
was
was very
around that
close
neighborhood. It
to
was
it.
in the
Yeah, it
because
was
they
very
didn't get
close to it.
far because like they were intoxicated and they were arguing. So at some point, the driver, who also did not testify, but apparently there's an alleged video of everything that happened.
I would love to see this alleged video because I haven't seen it.
All
So
right.
pull
So a
it
lot of
up.
people. So there's the to add to the theory list of theories. There's a video that's going around that documented everything that happened that night, and there are people within the industry like. I'll bring up Rihanna, for example, because she unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion for some reason right after this all went down. Say, and a lot of people, even DJ Booth, saying that he saw the video too, and he was talking about Megan's a liar. And I just want to
I would love to
know,
see this video though. Where is this video?
right? I would love to see the video
So
too.
you haven't seen the video.
Mm-hmm.
There's
No,
just an alleged video.
You're
no.
right.
Just
So
like
the
there's no
video,
evidence. There's just like there's not enough evidence to convict Tory Lanez,
but he was convicted.
but he was
Yeah.
unfortunately because that's how our that's how our system
So
works.
again, let's not
Even if he
forget that
didn't
he's
shoot
not being
her, he still
convicted.
supposed to got convicted. He still needs to go to jail.
Let's
Yeah,
not
but
forget that he's not being convicted over the
for
shooting. He's
possession,
being convicted on possession.
yes,
So regardless
Mm-hmm.
of what's going on here, he is 100% guilty because he did have a gun that
he
was
had a
recently fired
he had a
in his
gun
pocket and someone was shot.
and is the alleged shooter of Megan Thee Stallion.
What? So outside of the inconsistent timelines, is that the only reason why you think he's innocent?
He's not innocent for having the gun, but I'm saying he didn't
You don't
shoot.
think he shot
I don't think he shot
Megan Thee
Megan Thee
Stallion? You don't think
Stallion.
he was involved in any way, shape, or form?
No. I think he's definitely the reason why all that went down because he's that guy that these two girls liked
I
and
need
there
to
was
see
a
a
shooting
picture of this
over it.
guy. I need to
But
see a picture of what he looks like.
he's
He
a
looks
short
like
king.
he looks like a baby like chimpanzee.
He's a short king.
He looks like he swings off trees.
Yo, this is not the person they was fighting over.
Yeah, because why are we doing this? I was pissed when she got with him. He is not attractive at all.
You'd be surprised.
Canadian.
A lot of women in the industry really like Tory Lanez. I think it's 'cause he has a big D or like his personality. I don't know, but
It could
he
be his
has a lot of
personality,
bitches.
but men always do
I
that
didn't even
facade of
know who this
personality anyway.
was
So
until the Megan Thee Stallion
Well, he's
incident.
from
I did
Canada.
not.
I didn't know who he was either, and I don't listen to his music.
I didn't even know who he was.
The thing
I
is,
had no idea who he was.
the thing is, he was supposed to have signed with Rock Nation at the Rock Nation brunch. There hasn't been a Rock Nation brunch ever since he was at that party because of all the shit that's gone down. and he didn't sign. He wanted to remain independent. Who are Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers? Rock Nation, right? So they have lots of power, lots of money, the ability to make evidence disappear. So it just so happens to be convenient that one of your artists rejected your contract. One of your artists continues to make money independently without the assistance of Rock Nation. One of your artists was in a scandal with a Rock Nation artist. So all the conveniences just happen to work out to where they were able to make certain evidence disappear, the evidence to defend Tory Lanez, and then you conveniently make it, oh, well, he had the weapon, so we're going to double convict him. And we still don't have enough evidence.
Let's also talk about the
I'm not
fact
saying
that
he's innocent he's not 100% innocent, but I'm also saying that Megan Thee Stallion is definitely not 100% innocent. She's a liar. Okay?
But she never said that she saw him. Let's talk about that. Let's talk
literally,
about how she never said
literally.
it. What is she lying about? She never said I
He
saw him.
lied during
She
the
said
Gayle
I
King
heard him
interview.
say "dance, bitch," and then I got shot in my
You talking
foot.
about she lied during the Gayle King interview about not being together? When you're on the interview and somebody you don't want to like let the world know because you're fucking famous and let the world know who you're dating, and a person you don't even think you're in an interview talking about your relationship. You think you could probably be in there promoting something,
And I would definitely love to see the interview
and everybody knows how Gayle King is. She will put somebody on the blast. Come on now, we saw what she did with R. Kelly. Like, so come on, like she got on there.
I would love to
Like
see
I would have did the exact same thing. No, we don't go together. Because I don't know if I'm ready to tell the world who I'm dating right now. That don't make sense. That's not even a good enough lie.
She was ready to fight over that same dick
But she was also leaving. Don't forget, Megan did not start this incident. So you're talking about she was ready to fight for this. No, she was ready to defend herself.
But she was fighting.
She was fighting, but somebody was fighting her. What was she going to do? Let herself get her ass beat? No. Right. If someone's running up on you, you're fighting them.
And it's okay to get shot. Like the fuck.
You're fighting them.
No, it wasn't okay for Kelsey to shoot that girl.
I'm saying if someone ran up on you right now talking about something, you told my man, blah, 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 and they start punching you, start swinging at you, you going to do what? Sit there?
I'm going to start punching and
you going to start punching back? So what you mean then talk about something Megan Thee Stallion was ready to fight? No, Megan Thee Stallion was ready to defend. There's a difference. She didn't start the fight. Someone else started the fight, and then someone else shot her after they lost the fight. Regardless of who it was, regardless if it was Kelsey or Tory, one of them two, because they're the only two accomplices. They're the only two possibilities it could be, right? No one's saying that it was the driver. They're saying it is one of these two motherfuckers, right?
Plot twist, it was the driver.
That's the twist. That is the real plot twist.
Plot twist, it was the
driver. And he's like, I don't want to testify.
Tory paid me some money, so I shot her ass. And that's why he doesn't have nothing on him.
Let's also talk about Tory's past
but
a little bit.
But then Tory Seals a setup person. He deserves to be in jail.
Because I just looked up that Tory Lanez was actually married before this whole thing. Kept his relationship from the public. It was a very secret marriage. No one really knew he was married. They got a divorce. And on their divorce papers, she put irreconcilable differences, and that she was pressing for primary and legal custody of their 6-year-old child.
I did not know that man was married.
Exactly. You didn't even know he was married. So who's really the liar?
Well, he looks like a liar, so that makes sense.
And again, he's not being charged for the actual shooting. He's being charged for reckless endangerment of disarming a vehicle and a semi-automatic firearm and carrying an unregistered gun. So all this free Tory Lanez for shit that he is 100% guilty of.
And he brought it on himself. But of course, social media, they don't read. Some of them don't comprehend well. So it is what it is.
And she also has a restraining order on Tory Lanez. So regardless if he gets out or whatever, because he's filing appeals, he does have a restraining order for Megan Thee Stallion that he has to stay at least 100 yards away from her at all times.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Mm-hmm.
No musician influenced your decision to say
Don't start your shit. Don't start. We're not doing this.
It really didn't. Actually,
Okay.
okay, I'm lying. Okay, I'm gonna take it back.
He's lying. Look at
There
him
was
lying right
there
now.
there was
He's
an
a
incident.
liar.
She's a liar. There was actually an incident where my favorite artist got into it again with Megan Thee Stallion. Why is Megan Thee Stallion always getting into it
No,
with
let's rephrase that
Asian the
sentence.
Brat, Kelsey, Tory Lanez, the Baby?
She got into the baby because the baby was homophobic, and she said she was not about that homophobic bullshit.
Come on now, keep it 1,000.
So let's if we're talking about
I don't even like the baby. Like, due to that reason, like
people, let's bring up a certain someone's rap sheet.
Lost her Fenty deal from Rihanna.
She didn't need it. But you was bringing up Rihanna. Let's bring up the Rihanna. I'm about to type in my Google thing because I don't have any notes on this.
Yeah, Meg lost her Fenty deal after that.
yeah, but she's doing okay.
Yeah, truly.
Like Fenty is this one company. One door closes, 1,000 open. Blessed and highly favored, but a lot of people won't get it.
So you brought up Rihanna as one of the people that Megan Thee Stallion. What do you think about the whole? Even though this happened like a really, really, really long time ago, 2009, so almost 20 years. The Chris Brown Rihanna.
Okay, so when that shit was playing out right in front of her eyes, it was same thing all over again. Make the woman look like the victim, but we know, and you even said she was beating Chris Brown's ass too.
They was having a very toxic relationship. Okay. They were both wrong for it, but it's like one of those things. Like you both like the toxicity because you're both young.
But look at how each one of their careers turned out.
Yeah, Rihanna got Fenty. She's got 2 kids. She's married.
And Chris Brown, what?
He's Brown,
still a legend. He's still a legend and an icon in his own right. But
yeah, but you know he's not married. He's got what 3 kids now? 3, 4.
I think that's mostly his fault.
Well, he admitted that that was his love his life. Like he realized after.
And a lot of niggas do. A lot of niggas do. They'll be like, "Oh,
he like,
dang.
man, that's the best thing that ever happened to me." Like, yeah, we get it.
We get it.
What I'm saying? But go ahead and get your 4th baby mama.
So, what do you guys think is the line between having a woman who hits you and you defend yourself and becoming a woman abuser? Where does that line get drawn?
It gets drawn when you leave and you get out of that situation.
But don't forget, domestic violence isn't just this easy thing that you can get out of, or more people would be able to get out of it.
Right. Yeah. Well, be creative. Like, this person's not going to change. This person's not going to stop harming you just because you ask them to. This is how they are. And again,
it takes a lot. I mean, obviously, Rihanna got out because of this situation, right? But if this situation never happened, who's to say that that relationship would have carried on for another 2 years, another 3 years, another 4 years? Like, it does take, unfortunately, situations like this or worse for women or men to be like, okay, I cannot go back. Like I was watching who was I watching? Lifetime or something, where there was a case of a twin. They were twins. The twin was getting abused by her boyfriend, and then the boyfriend almost killed her. And she was like, I can't do this no more. I gotta leave. I'm gonna stay away from this guy. I'm never gonna come back to this guy ever again because he almost killed me. I almost died. And then 3 months later was having a secret relationship with the guy and died. He killed her. And the twin knew the entire time that he could have possibly been the killer, but she was just like, no, she promised that she wasn't talking to this guy anymore. She swore to me. She swore on our twinship. She swore on our sisterhood that she was not talking to this guy. I know she was seeing somebody, but it wasn't him, I swear. And then once she realized how she died, which was strangulation, she was like, oh, fuck. it was him. He was the one that killed my sister because that's how he almost killed her before. He choked her until she passed out and she woke up to him on the phone talking about I killed the bitch. I think I killed the bitch. I need help.
And that right
And
there, that's how
back.
I would be. I would be on Snap. I would be on Snap.
And she still went back. She still went back to this man and had a whole secret relationship with this man. And he killed her.
Yeah, it's. I think it's like it's almost like a knowing your worth, knowing that you could do better type of shit. Because a lot of women don't. They think like, oh well, maybe he'll change because they hold on to that first beginning when they put up that facade.
Yeah,
and they hold on to that. And once they hold on to that, they're like, but he did me like, no, that was fake, mamas. That was a mask. He just put it down. His mask broke. This is him. You got to move around.
Yeah,
your life is in danger. But they hold on to that so much that they end up just on the other side, unfortunately.
Added to that, I feel like there's also an emotional manipulative like process that goes on after that first when the abuse starts, like, and after that mask breaks, there's the emotional indoctrination, like, to go with the self-esteem. That person doesn't believe that they can do better. They've also like been broken down to a certain point, I feel, to not really know their worth or know that they deserve better. When you can cripple someone emotionally, like, you get their physical too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, once the mind goes, it's a wrap. Because you have a shell there, but that's it. That's all you have.
That's it. You gotta get the fuck get gone. Get the fuck gone.
Especially it could never when you have kids. Like, oh my
especially
God.
when you have kids. Now, Chris Brown and Rihanna, they were both teenagers at the time. I think it said that he was 15 and she was 16.
Yeah, they was kids. Like with them, I feel like it goes deeper. What happened in Chris Brown's life before fame? Like,
do you think once an abuser, always an abuser, or do you truly think that people can be like, this was a once in a lifetime thing, I would never do it again?
Yeah, it
because I'm trying to see my baby daddy. I'm just
it depends. It depends. I say like okay, Chris Brown. That shit happened when he was 17, 18, and then years later, I still haven't heard nothing.
I'm on the fence about it because I believe people can truly rehabilitate. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know, going to therapy, figuring out why that situation ever happened in the first place. Good for you. But there will be always that feeling in the back of your mind where it's like,
like I can't trust you.
Snap again.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna hold you. If it ever came out with somebody I was dating, I probably would break up with him.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't trust, like I couldn't trust them now. Like,
it will always.
It's gonna be always in the back of my mind. It's like you probably have changed, but I can't take that chance.
Yeah, I can't take.
I've been there, done that. So
yeah, couldn't be me. I will be definitely on 6 o'clock news. Could not be me.
Yeah, no, for real. I was. No, Snap. I'm gonna be in my mugshot smiling with a thumbs up.
Yeah,
because you had me.
Like, I was talking to somebody, and they was like, "What if your boyfriend hits me?" I was like, "I him. He would not leave that house alive. What are you talking about?" And they were like, "That's controversial. That's controversial.
In your body broken, something."
Nah, you gonna have a bullet straight to the fucking brain, bitch. Bullet. Period. I am not one of those Americans that are like, we can't have. No. What do you mean? Who's we? Yeah,
you know what? Everything has a consequence.
I'm protecting my daughter, my life. You come at me, be prepared to die. I don't fuck around with that bullshit. I do not do domestic violence. I don't care if it's an argument. Fine. People are allowed to be angry. That is a very valid emotion to have. We are all human. But as soon as you cross the line of physical, okay, it's no longer an argument. It's no longer about you being right or wrong. It's about you now using your fist to be like, I'm still angry, so now I have to punch you.
Physical and intimidation.
Yeah.
Because we cannot forget about that. Because if you are a man and you're like in my face yelling at me like all like intimidated, that is a no for me too. I'm not taking that either. I don't know. We're done.
I can handle yelling if it's like healthy.
healthy. Yeah, it's a certain and it's a thin line between that shit. Because
That's why
I'm not gonna
I
yell
asked.
at you.
That's why I asked. What draws the line between a man being an abuser and a man being self-defense? Like, if I'm
I
crazy,
mean, because it's tiers to that shit. Like you have mental abuse, you have physical abuse, psychological abuse. So then it's like, what tier are we talking about?
yeah.
Because
If
the
I'm
mental
if I'm a
abuse is,
tier 3
whew,
crazy bitch, I beat my husband. I make him wear makeup to work. I put his strap on, get him from behind type shit, and I really fuck his ass up.
love. If comment in the chat if you like pegging. Okay, all right.
I'm abusing him, and he finally goes, you know what? Cookie has abused me for 5 years. This bitch beats me every fucking Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I'm not doing it no
Damn.
more. I'm done. Today is the day that I make my stand. And he beats the fuck out of me. But I tell you guys, he just hit me. Whose side are you taking? If you don't know,
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna feel sorry for you for real. But I'll be like, damn, he finally tagged that ass though.
yeah.
He
But
finally tagged it.
if it's scheduled, if y'all schedule this at every Wednesday at 5, at that point, this is
Not
not
501, not 502.
this
Like
is
that's fine.
not abuse. This is scheduled kink time.
Yep.
And
I
then for
come
At this
him,
home,
point,
I'm
it's a
bored.
kink.
Yeah. She beats me every time she yawns. Why am I bored, bitch?
Wow.
But
well,
what if
okay, so we're
what if
all
you don't
guys,
know? What if you don't know our history and you just see me beat the fuck up? You don't know I've been beating this guy. All you see is me beat the fuck up.
yeah,
But
right.
then it comes out 3 years later that I was the abuser. How would you feel about all that coming to light? Like, is that I don't know. Women do it.
Betrayed.
Yeah, women
Betrayed.
do it. Women
And
are just as bad as men.
as a man,
Oh, for sure.
again, it's like, damn, like the roles justice could have been served differently if we had just investigated a little bit deeper.
You think a man should hold his punches if he's being abused?
What do you mean? Like,
First off, I don't be knowing why men get abused in the first place because you could have definitely walked away. You was a man. You could have literally picked her ass up and put her to the side.
Put her to the
Like,
side.
like
You can
we
lift
all
me,
know that
bitch.
men are strong are at times because it's different now.
I've
Because men
seen
do
men
be
who I think are
men do be acting
sheepish.
baddies.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've seen men that look sheepish and look like I could step on them, pick my big ass big back up, and like toss me like a little pencil. And I've been like,
You feel me? You like dicking? Was like, oh, don't do. Come on, I don't want to hit a girl. If you don't either slap the shit out of her or something, but like closing with a closed fist, beating her, like bludgeoning and all that, like, no, what are we doing? You're a man. You have way more
we do
like
not condone
strength
these
than her.
methods. We're just
we do not condone these methods. Do not beat your husbands and or wives.
please.
Don't be nobody, okay? All
Don't
right,
put your hands
don't
on
do that.
somebody because they're gonna fuck
If you
around and
feel like
find
you
out.
gotta hit somebody, just walk away or divorce them. It's okay.
Or
I mean,
talk it out, or
or
call
talk it out.
authorities, or a mediator, or
Divorce.
seek the number at the bottom of this caption. We'll have a number for
Well, we'll put a number up for
people
y'all.
who need support, partners who need support from their partners. Okay, stay safe. All right. Okay, so we got into it today for real, for real. It was good.
All right. What's y'all Instagrams?
My IG is at James Law Des.
Mine is Elise Lovella. That's Elise _ Lovella at IG. So,
and of course, you can
girl.
find me, your girl Cookie, on Instagram at the Wet Babadook. That is the Wet Babadook on Instagram. And we will upload this and we'll put some links down below. We're going to put James's menu on every single episode. So if you're interested in what he's eating, you'll always be able to eat with us and eat with him. Follow us on Instagram, like and share, do all the things that you got to do. Be good people. Goodbye.
This sandwich was good. It's really moist. It needs to be toasted though, I feel like, to get the full effect. So I only ate half of it. I'll toast the rest later. It has some vegetables, some shredded chicken that is nicely slathered and seasoned in whatever kind of sauce that there was. I can't really pinpoint the flavor, but it's good. And this ramen was okay. There's a reason why I don't always do ramen is because I just prefer to, ever since I went to Japan, I prefer to eat ramen from Japan because it like just tastes really good. And American ramen, I did not get enough noodles. I guess I'll have to ask for extra noodles next time. And but the broth was really savory. It wasn't bad. Just could have been better.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
I'll see you hoes tonight on Fortnite.
10 minutes, bitch.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.